Hi, this is Ashish Munjal. I'm co-founder of our education startup. Let me actually take you through one of the well-known characters of our middle-class families. That's Sharma ji ka beta. ये वो इंसान था हमारे जीवन में. He was somehow better than us in every aspect. When we talk about education, extracurricular activities, music, sports, and whatnot, he was always better than us. Let us take a step back maybe and understand that what does Sharma ji ka beta actually represents. Sharma ji ka beta represents competition in our society. What is competition? Competition is actually a social action. It's something that forces us to do better. It forces us to do our best. But wait a minute. What if actually Sharma ji ka beta had some kind of unfair advantage? What if he was actually taking maths classes? What if he was actually taking guitar classes when you were singing in your bathroom? Does that make it a fair competition? You look at this image and let us know. Think about it. Do you think Sharma ji ka beta and Mr. Iyer's son, are they both at the same platform? Does Sharma ji ka beta have some kind of unfair advantage? Then let's just think about what is fair competition. Fair competition is actually about providing equal opportunities. Fair competition is about creating that level playing field. And in a country like ours, in India, with so much of geographical diversity, so much of economic diversity, a large part of our population doesn't have access, or we are not able to create a level playing field for them. With that, let me introduce you two characters or two individuals. Let's just share the story of these two individuals. One is Akanksha and second is Anand. Akanksha has been born and raised in Delhi, comes from a middle class family. Both her parents are bankers. She had a comfortable life. Both her parents have actually worked very hard to ensure that she gets good education. She has been to private school. She has completed her graduation from Delhi University and now she wants to pursue management program. Let's talk about Anand. Anand comes from a small village in UP, comes from Koshambi, a village in district Sultanpur. It's around 100 kilometers from Allahabad. His parents are farmers. They are not very well educated, but they want best for Anand. They want him to go to a good school. But sadly, because there was no access, he has to go to a government school. And then when he completed his class 12, he wanted to go to a good undergrad college. But again, there was no good college around his district. So he went to a nondescript college in Sultanpur. Now, let's just see when it comes to higher education, how it fares for both Anand and Akanksha. When we talk about Akanksha, she has been in Delhi. She will have access to some decent quality education system, some decent quality post-graduation. But when we talk about Anand, does he has access? Sadly, he doesn't have access. But for both Anand and Akanksha, the system is not taking accountability of their education. And that's what makes their parents worried. What will happen in their future? Because system is not taking accountability of their education. Let's just maybe double click on access and accountability and understand what is access and accountability. When we talk about access, there are close to 15 crore Anand and Akanksha in our country. That's the population in the age group of 18 to 23. These are the people who are eligible for higher education. But out of them, only 1 in 4 young people get access to any kind of higher education. That's our gross enrollment ratio, 27%. We have close to 70,000 colleges. We have close to 50,000 colleges in our country. That's roughly translate to 71 colleges per district. But even with that, basic minimum access is a challenge in our country. And when we talk about accountability, accountability is actually about taking responsibility. It's about taking ownership of the consequences. Let's just take example of maybe one program, MBA. I think all of you want to do MBA. And that's also because it's considered one of the most sought after programs. That's supposed to be the program which should make you career ready. When we talk about MBA, as per SOCHM report, only 7% of Indian management graduates have employability skill set. And these are any sort of skill set to work in any kind of job. And this is the situation of MBA. Assume what it is in other programs. And if there is one metric that should keep us awake at night, it should be this metric. Maybe let's try to zoom out and understand how did we land up here. What's the situation in other industries? How other industries have panned up in last 100 years? Let's maybe look at other industries. Let's look at communication. 100 years ago, we used to communicate through letters, and then telephone happened, and now we live in an era of smartphones. So if you look at any industry, there are two types of changes that happens in any industry. One is the incremental change, and second is sort of radical shift, transformational changes. Going to a cordless from a telephone, from a landline, that's an incremental change. But going to smartphone, that's a transformational change. Going to video calling, WhatsApp and whatnot, that's a transformational change. Let's look at other industries. Transportation, commerce. Transportation, we went from horse carts to cars to Uber, now to self-driven cars. Similar kind of changes have happened in commerce, from barter system to retail, and now we have e-commerce. You can get anything delivered at your home, right? Let's look at education. Does similar changes have happened in education as well? When we look at education, this is how education used to look 100 years ago. This is how education used to look 40 years ago. And this is how education looks now. I'm sure all of you would agree. There are only incremental changes that have happened in education. There are no transformational changes that have happened in education. And that is the reason. That is the reason that education has stagnated. Assume something, let's say if transformation changes would have happened in education as well, would we have been able to provide a more accountable education to both Anand and Akanksha? The answer to that question is yes. But sadly, that has not happened. We have actually failed Anand and Akanksha. We have failed in providing them a level playing field. We have failed in providing them equal opportunities. And that's not just one Anand and one Akanksha. That's actually the situation of 90% of young population of this country. Let me tell you my story. I come from this 90% segment. I was born and raised in a tier 3 town named Kankarkheda, near a city Meerut in Uttar Pradesh. Comes from a very typical middle class family. Both my parents worked really hard to ensure that their children get access to quality education. But because we are in tier 3 town, there were no good schools. I actually went to a very rundown kind of a school. I completed my class 12 there, and then like any other kid in early 2000s, by default option was to do engineering. So decided to do engineering from Meerut itself. And you can assume that what would have been how many classes I would have attended. If Orkut would have been a university, I would have got the gold medal. But sadly, that was not the case, right? Now, let's just understand, for me, I have actually got good management education, and that's the reason I at least like to think that I have made it in my life, right? But it's not the case with other people. And for me also, I could easily not have been standing here. There was actually a larger chance that I would not have been standing up here today. And that's what we need to solve for. So if I could define myself, I'm this. I had access, but there was barely an equality and definitely no accountability. So that's Ashish for you. What we actually need to do is that we need to create a system which provides not only access but high quality access and accountability. That is when we can create a system which provides equal opportunity to every young individual of our country. Let's just take a moment and understand, because it's critical to understand that we are not talking about access to bare bones buildings. We are not talking about access to classroom. What we are talking about is access to high quality education, right? We are talking about access to a system that provides you high quality education. Because we know educated person, they earn more, they have healthier lives, and they have many more choices in life. It ultimately leads to a better society. When we talk about accountability, accountability is all about taking responsibility, taking ownership, not of the input, but of the output. But if we look at our education system, both in our practice and in our policy, our education system is actually more and more focused on the input. Let's take a look. We talk about number of credits, we talk about number of subjects, we talk about how many classrooms, we talk about how many computers in lab. We don't talk about student learning outcomes. We don't talk about what are the skills students are developing. We don't talk about whether the student has become career ready after the program or not. And that's something which we need to solve for. Let me ask you a question. when you order something from Amazon and you don't like that product, do you have an option of returning it? Obviously, yes, you have. Such an option exists in education? The answer is no. And let's think about it. All of us expect, actually not expect, all of us demand accountability in each and every other aspect of our life. But when it comes to education, we let it go. We have actually allowed our education system to take our younger generation for granted. And that is something that all of us need to introspect about. Let's imagine a world, let's visualize a world where both Anand and Akanksha went to an MBA college, where not only they got access to a high quality education, but they also got access and their learning outcomes were tracked. They were nudged toward a successful career. Moreover, the system actually took accountability of their education. Both Anand and Akanksha are our actual students from Greater Noida campus. Anand currently works as a financial analyst in a KPO, and Akanksha works as an associate in a US-based MNC. Now this is the new world. This is the new world where both Akanksha and Anand are getting equal opportunities. But this is just the beginning. We don't have to solve for only one Anand and one Akanksha. We actually have to solve for 15 crore Anand and Akanksha's. Thank you.